máš tam Varuse, máš tam Varuse, máš tam Kalistu, Tristan a Good. Identifikovali. Problém je, pokud budou hrát Varus Kalista, ale oni to nehrajou na botu. Ale tohle je dobré identifikace. To měli udělat testu druhou hru, first picknout Tristanu. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go. První Draven na MSI od Hanse sama. Let's go. Dostal ego boost potom Kog'Mawovi, tak piknul Dravena. Let's go. Oni to pikou Rexa, ne, to není Rex, to je Rex's jungle. A oni to pikli away, aby to neměl ten. Xante vyhrával do 12 anyway. Problém bude Free 6-9, no, uvidíme, jestli s tím něco vymaže tady ten blázen, To fakt byl Camille support. Draven, Niko, Kalista, Camille, to je zajímavé. Tristanka, Draven, Santa, Niko. Tohle je takový, bude zajímavá hra. Tady není jako clear winner. Tady není clear winner. Botlane bude Whites. Mid lane je even. Jungle top even. Tohle je takový 50-50 a kdo bude lepší, vyhraje. Tady bude důležité, jak bude hrát ta Kalista, Camille. A jak bude... To je hodně důležité. To bude determinovat jako early game. No a potom, jak bude hrát Free 6-9, no. S tím Udyrem. Tam by měli být even, ale proti Xantemu. Měli by být even.
And I think for top esports is trying to silence a lot of what has been an unfortunate
Quattro má tady dík za jednoho gifta, děkuju. Děkuju. Kdo má lepší late game? G2 má lepší late game.
2020, sorry, where they were supposed to beat them. They were supposed to go on ahead, but they just could not find that success. Now G2 staring ahead, but Mako.
Tak Camille Roam je nebezpečný. A má jump. Buffer? Buffer. Nádherný. Nádherný buffer. Tam, kdyby to nebuffernul, kdyby to jumpnul moc brzo, tak víš, co udělá Camille? Flashne, stopne mu ten jump.
I don't understand how Caps just buffers every skill. It's like he sat in practice tool and he's just looked at all of the skills in the game and he's like, I know how to buffer all of these now.
I do love the idea of him sitting in the middle and all four other members of G2 throw things.
Ale já jdu pro jídlo.
Use the buffers.
Well, Tien going to take a fair bit of damage here as Yike coming out of the brush that he just created for himself.
Top Crab is still available. Yike, of course, didn't have the smite, neither did Tian, so there wasn't really much he could do about it, especially on the Ivern. Playing defensively for the time being, wants to be on the bot side of the map though, just because of the lane state. Hans needs to be careful, but they've spotted Tian moving away, which means that the likelihood of a gank, and that ward coming through from Mickey should make Hans feel safe enough to push this underneath the tower and likely get a reset in the near future.
Yep, should be able to make that one work. And Tien, he's on that top side of the map. I believe Yike will be able to get some vision. Yeah, down definitely knows that the Rek'Sai is in the area.
jestli chce, abych šel navrch. Jestli
prostě vám samotný. Now, very calmly and non-violently take down this Rift Scuttler.
Já mám třeba 20
Blade on the top side, just dealing with 369 shenanigans. And this is what the Udyr is supposed to do. We didn't see the Udyr doing it last time we saw it here at MSI, but you should always have shove and be able to continually get control of that wave.
Normálně víš, co by měli být mít žebráci, oni by v dnešní době měli mít QRka. A nebo takový ty street performance. Včera jsem byl ve městě, tak jsem přemýšlel, že prostě tam hrál někdo strašně dobře na houfle, takže když si udělají prostě QRko. Ale přežije. Ale bacha na tohle, musíš cancelovat ty Ečka od tý Camille s Dravenem. Tady budou muset flashovat. Jede straight up. Flashuj.
Jackie Love will pick up a double. Draven still managing to get a kill there as the trigger seed landing on this bottom side. Jackie Love gonna have to try and get out of here as I don't think Yike has much left in the tank, and so Jackie Love will be just fine.
Now there is the bot lane of top esports that everyone was expecting. A great punish as Hans and Mickey try to push another wave underneath the tower. Mako's Ignite wasn't even back off cooldown yet, but they knew in the extended trade
prostě sám
they
od
could
sebe
come out on
vyveze
top.
až na vrch a ještě je na tebe milej. Insane. To musí cancelovat ty Ečka tím Ečkem, to Ečko. To není tak těžký. Hraje to Battle Drivna.
And get a hit, and then they get to follow up. But Hansama
Yep,
dying before the terror shot means those adoration stacks go to nil.
And in the meantime, there's more of a battle here as Mako going aggressive onto Caps yet again. Mickey able to come in and at least make it even, but they get the flash out of the Tristan.
Armor pen Kalista s ninjatabama.
Putting that extra pressure down onto this Tristana. No flash
To
going
jsou
to be lost
Japče,
for Cream, but
korejský
Caps
skleněný
losing
nudle.
that flash. You can see how
S
the early
hovězím
game
masem a s
dynamic
vajíčkem
is very much
a se
shifting
zeleninou,
away
je to
from
takové
G2 in this game 3.
And a lot of that
takové
what we
trošku
saw
street
from
food,
top
ale to
esports
bude
against Gen
fakt.
G was Mako starting that comeback. When he came into game 3, was bringing out the Alistair, having this insane performance.
There's the all-out special delivery of the Udyr towards Yike, who will be able to land the stun. Follows up as well. Now 369, I don't think he's going to have anywhere to go. Does have the ghost running, but Broken Blade will be able to keep up, finds the Q and finds the kill.
Nicely done by Broken Blade to get the knockback right as Yike is there.
Nice.
Void Grubs will still go the way of top esports, but a big win for Broken Blade on that top side, just getting some much needed gold and some much needed help in that bad matchup.
I feel like this is just the same game 2. Didn't we? Bot lane, double kill, Cassante getting a kill with a gank top lane, gold relatively even. This is very familiar. Yike now making his presence known in the bot lane. Corki has the push in
To nejde divenout, ne? Hoši, co děláte?
Mako and Jackie Love look like they're just going to try and exit this one.
Oh, the cannon minion tech from Mickey, drawing aggro, turning into a minion so he can tank a few more tower shots. But they just walk away with the
removnuli, to už
look at the
nefunguje.
goal difference in bot lane, actually neutralized, even though Jackie Love has a 2-kill advantage.
Also, Mickey, I think, running the demolish there as well. So if you can get some of those shots off and they can continue to push in the wave, they can look to start playing off of these turret plates. As the word back in on the minimap broke my brain for a second, but it's going to be Mickey making his way back to base.
Yeah, one of those things as 369 now just trying to farm between these turrets. Broken Blade going to have to get back and we'll be able to clear this one out. But more plates going down and the Udyr doing exactly what it says on the tin despite that death. Now has those plated steel caps completed. Yike going to be spotted with the tremor sense here as Tien gets that information. Good side steps from Caps on these rockets. Says, okay, Tien looks for an opportunity. Doesn't actually go in though. They spot the Ivan moving over. Nice little shield there as Caps will be absolutely fine.
Just one of my favorite things to watch with Caps is many players around the world will often test him. You know, a lot of people would have W'd there or hesitated at the risk of a potential flash. But no, he holds his ground. He only really saves those things the last moment. Sometimes he plays as them, it's too far and he gets solo killed by a Corki.
A za B půl mega za kuchyň ani není nějak moc, ne? Nebo je?
Sometimes you get crap, sometimes you get claps. And
vy jste viděli ten design té architektky tu kuchyně, to jako... Sedí to?
Going to be able to get the stun. Good bastard shot on Mako. Yeah, he's up the creek and he does not have a paddle. That is going to be the first kill for Caps. He's on the board.
This time around, Betty, he baits them in perfectly with the jump and the shield coming through, and even having Mickey as a cohort in that play as well. Nicely done by G2. I can see Tien.
Vamos!
But round 2 all out does come on through.
Škoda, že se nefestnul ještě líp trošičku.
And the Cassante's got a few more buttons in the tank and we'll be able to get that dash on over. Q gonna connect.
Dej mu!
That should spell the end.
Baby! Capsonino! Baby! Let's go!
Sama almost connecting onto Cream. But we think back to the fact that Jackie Love was able to get a 2-kill lead in this bottom lane. But it's not quite snowballing in the same way that we saw from G2 in the previous series, or sorry, in the previous games of this series, I should say. As Broken Blade now continuing to mount an advantage on the top side of the map. Nothing too crazy or significant, but so far, G2 don't feel like they've lost control after that bot lane blunder.
But this is the way a lot of people saw this series coming into was, look, Jackie Love and Mako more than likely going to win out in the 2v2, but it's the top side that is going to be the main focus. And the question was, what does 369 look like? But BB, despite the poor matchup in the early stage and fall behind, that first gank, giving him much needed gold, giving him the little bit of resistance as he needed, and now he's able to go toe-to-toe with 369, pulling him in behind the tower. And this is where, if G2 can continue this pressure, you've got a massive Cassante.
Já vám pak asi můžu ukázat za ten jako tu cenovku toho všeho a tak.
Top Esports still with the control over these neutral objectives though. They've gotten the first 3 grubs of the game. They're going to secure the first dragon to boot. A relatively late one once again, 10.5 minutes into the game. This is a better scenario for G2 because they are more of a scaling composition. When you're running double AD carry with the Ivern, you want more time to generate, well, the items. And if they're able to delay the start of those next dragons, it means they just have more time to get ready for the fight.
Also, Chemtech and now Cloud Dragon are going to be off the card, so this is going to be a pretty valuable soul when it does come up and available. G2 though, at the moment just trying to keep it slow. Again, I think coming back to, hey, let's just try and keep BB now that he's winning. Cap's fine, but Tien wants to change that.
Yeah, Tien going a bit aggressive.
Otočí toho Vado, ne?
As Caps follows him. Yike turns up to the mid lane to make it a 2v2.
Úder je late game, no. Úder je early mid game.
But this is the thing, I think G2 are hitting a point where
they are late game useless.
Matchups is green, gonna be in trouble.
Gonna have to use that Valkyrie, does use it to get himself out of dodge, but still gonna lose out on the trade. It's good shield from Yike, makes sure that Caps is absolutely fine. Tien does have flash available, not gonna go for it though, looking for the knock up onto the Tristana.
Mako had started to roam up, you can see he was spotted just on him where this placed by the blue buff, so gonna be able to back away instead. They don't want to try and take that fight, but no, it happens again.
Yeah, BB's. All right, I've seen this one before. This time he's going to bring him underneath the turret. Yike is also there to try and help out. Ghost getting 369 a bit of distance here, but BB's still going to find that Q. Another snare is going to connect, and Daisy now comes out. And 369, surely that Ghost is going to run out relatively soon. Does get to the safety of his turret, though, and Daisy, she will... unfortunately run out of health. Tien not able to help with the play either though.
This should be able to secure the grubs for G2. I say that though, Tien has just come over the wall. He's looking to fight Yike, of course he is. Yike can't really do much in the dueling. Caps forced to bait, has the TP available, choosing not to invest it just yet. I stand corrected, Top Esports still feeling confident to secure these grubs. With Cream back out onto the map and having the package available, further objectives will be secured. Top Esports still in good control of this early game.
The reset from Hans Sama and Mickey later than Jackie Love and Mako, so Top Esports know that they would have had the reinforcements coming through quicker, so they managed to force that play through with 369 teleporting in. BB still hasn't gone for his reset yet. Looks like he's going to try and farm up a little bit more before he tries to go back and get that, at least spend some of that gold that he's gotten off a small lead for himself.
Well, this game is going to be a lot more about team fighting than what we've seen in the previous games. Early domination was the name of the game for G2, largely driven by their bot lane, but with a much more neutral mid-game state. We'll see how things transition as we now see the swaps coming out from both sides.
But this is where I think Top Esports just don't have anyone to really deal with the K'Sante. We saw a lot of teams starting to go back over towards on hit. Oh,
hang on. Yeah, Mickey looks for it, gets the flash out of Cream. And Jackie Love and Mako moving down towards this bottom side. Not going to be catching G2 unawares this time around, though, as the PS does a fair bit of damage, but not enough to really do anything here, as we're back to an honest 2v2.
Yeah, I think this is where, though, like, Jackie Love will be fine. Hang on, maybe I don't make this point anymore.
Yeah. Nice little knock up there, as Tien not going to invest the ulti or anything like that. Is now looking to burrow his way back, but Caps should be fine. Buster shot still up and available, and now there's the Void Rush. Cap's gonna have to flash, gets himself out of the way, and Yike is once again there to be the savior for his mid laner. Still a lot invested here for G2 to keep Caps alive.
Yike has had a fantastic tournament, consistently in the places that he needs to be. Will lose out here because that health bar was whittled down, but just needs to make sure there's nothing following him as that fake Nico checks that Tien is still in the bush, and Top Esports at least will back away.
Yeah, Daisy gets amongst it. She has a health bar, even if Yike doesn't. Cap's going to teleport back to lane. Will help pick up all of that.
Cap's movement is insane on the Josh.
Hookshot comes down. There's a Hextech ultimatum, and they just execute the Nico. Once again, Daisy comes in, but she's a little bit too late. Unless Mako doesn't have anything left. Whirling Death comes down. Nice little knock from Daisy from beyond the grave.
To by byl kill, by the way.
Glacial Augment almost slowed Mako enough to allow for the run back of Hans.
On má 264 stacků, to by executlo.
But a mistake there from Mickey. He tries to bait his opponents in, but it's G2 are not in a good position to punish that aggression. Top Esports find themselves another kill. Interrupt doesn't quite come through from Jackie Love. But I think one of the biggest discrepancies we've seen is Tien has a pretty healthy lead. The question is, does that lead matter? Can this Rek'Sai really do anything with the advantage that he's been able to gain over Yike? Because again, you've got to remember that this champion is a support, right? The whole responsibility of Like in this game is not to be a massive carry, it's to help his carries, and as long as Caps and Hansam are in a good spot, he's happy.
Well, Mickey once again in trouble, gonna have to flash this time around. Mako Gonna hook shot forward, but not going to invest too much more. Does have his flash available as well.
You do have to be careful.
Drake just up.
You have to be careful as G2. You're not really in a position to fight for this, and the lack of vision is going to make it very tough. Mickey having no flash as well means he's way less threatening in one of these fights. So Caps, at least getting pushed in mid, does dissuade top esports a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised to see top try and force this dragon with 369 our TP coming up relatively soon.
I mean, I will say that top esports have had impeccable control over the neutral play. G2's looking to get a little bit feisty around this objective.
My dneska scrimujeme, otazník, ten tým chat je nepřehledný, je tam tak 100 000 lidí. Ty pičo, hej, vy jste zase upgradeli. Další kouč jste vzali Dvors, ne? Jo, scrimujeme.
Doing a solid job in this early game. Again, we talked about it. It's gonna come down to the execution of these fights. How well can
G2 daje outscale jak blázen. Hele, tak 28. minuta, když to bude even, tak G2 vyhráli. 28.9.
I mean, we've seen it from Cream, we've seen it from Chovy. This
30.00 even, G2 won.
I think it's just BB is going to be such
Hans SNC názor. SNC very good.
You can see the Mastercard lane economy Snapchat, 400 gold lead. He's going to be able to already have the Kane for
Secundali si jednoho draka, aby test neměli Drake win kondici, což to jak neměli. Ty to nestavíš, já stavím SNC River, ale podle hry když můžu hrát agresivně Essence River, když ne, tak kolektor a i. Myslím, že posuneš Korkyho. Ivan postaví Redemption, Locket a co udělá Korky? Prdne si leda.
Well, Mako now looking for a potential dive angle. Mickey down here towards the bottom side, pretending to be Yike. And that is going to be enough to deter top esports. Still, G2 not going to find anything back off the other end. Caps gets a ward in, will be able to take down that control ward as the real Yike also going to show up. Ansama in the mid lane just trying to defend as Jackie Love continues to push wave after wave in there.
Hans má 350 stacků, jo, by the way.
Only about 600, barely anything between these two, and it's a much better look for top esports.
350 stacků, Hans vole postaví Infinity Edge LDR teďka a jeho ult one-shotne někoho. Víte, jak funguje Draven pasivka s jeho ultimátkou? Když jeho ult zaregistruje damage, když jako kdyby máte 500 HP a ta ult dá třeba 150 damage a máš 350 stacků, tak tě to executne.
The Herald also available, and it's top esports that have control over it. You can see them with a nice reset coming through. They've been able to push in these waves. Tian's going to start this one off. Caps is still sitting in the bot lane, but of course does have the TP. I don't know if G2 feel confident enough to try
to hraje mega safe teďka, mega safe. On prostě jenom čeká na to, až cashne. A reálně, jestli Hans cashne a budou even v té hře, tak vyhrál.
Especially with two items completed there for Jackie Love and a lot more coming through. I think it's the right call for G2.
Dívej, jak autoatakuje ten, viděli jste to, jak Mikix hraje toho melee supporta, teda melee creepa a movuje a autoatakuje, jak kdyby byl creep. Ty kokot. To bylo sick as fuck, viděli jste to?
The acceleration of the pace of the game has been very prevalent in the last two games. This time around, though, we're playing more to the tune of top esports.
Definitely feels like it, especially with the small lead that they do have and the way that they've been moving around.
On to prostě RP jak blázen.
Tian is so much stronger.
Asi hrál na spikeovým RP serveru.
Nějakou chvilku. So G2 have deliberately avoided trying to fight. We look at the number of stacks. That's 400. Handsummer has now ticked over to. If he's able to cash that out, that's going to be a pretty significant gold swing. But that's why again we've been building it up. The team fights are where this game is going to be determined.
Postaví LDR a potom bude Magor silnej.
Fall short to top esports here.
BB a little bit aggressive in his positioning here, chasing after Cream. But he can absorb quite a few of these rockets, doesn't quite find the Q there as he gets rid of one of these tunnels. G2 still just testing the waters, seeing where they're allowed to go on this map right now as Cream.
2,5 goldu za stack plus 40 goldu flat.
Tien diving forward, doesn't quite
find his opportunity as the Rift Herald heads down towards that bottom side. A tady to můžou vyhrát G2.
They've got
Ale oni givapnou tu turetu s tím, s Heraldem a potom Bibi to hledá, Bibi to hledá. To bylo close. Zapte Kamil. Draven ult. Ulti, Hans. Ult. BOOM! 1200 goldu!
But they cash in on their Draven.
1-for-1, but a 1,120 gold cash out for Hansama, sitting on the Infinity Edge as well. They might not be done to fight TP.
Krima flash. Musí flashnout tohle dvojtivéčko. On to prediknul. Magor. Draven, auto. And shutdown pro Dravena.
Right before the dragon spawns as well.
On půjde do báze, postaví full LDR, kámo. Hans, LDR.
369 still pushing in against Caps though. Caps will need a recess
LDR. Já se nebudu dělat, dokud nebejsne. LDR.
I will say that fight I think was well played by Top Esports overall. I got worried for Tian.
Yes! Je to tam! Let's go!
Hansama's positioning was good enough that he could able to turn the kill around. Nice initiation, but a great ulti from Jackula brings his support to safety, but he gets rooted up, so he can't really get involved in the fight.
Tady měl ultit, ne, tady ještě nemohl ultit, teď ultit. A jako, o 2 vteřiny neultil, měl ultit dřív, ale...
As he tries to keep Broken Blade isolated, but then Broken Blade uses his ulti to set up for Mako to lose his life as well. 1-for-1, Hans gets a second.
Oni teď tu Rek'Sai budou one-shotovat.
LDR secured for Hansama.
And it was basically
Kamil,
because he gets the cash in and
Rek'Sai,
uses all of that gold. 3 items now completed and his
jsou even, 22. minuta, ještě 6 minut dají outskill. Trista na třetí item a outskill. A ještě loket na Ivernovi outskill.
The Ivan tax that you have to pay. And the thing is, if you actually get into a fight that's the
Kejdrel chat je úplně gone z toho, že má LDR.
There's not really a big tank, right? Yes, you've got
LDR je Lord Dominic's regards.
You'll have some health. But Hansama can really just tear through people with the 3 items that he's managed to pick up. So this Draven, very, very scary right now. And this might put a little bit of a dent into what Top Esports want to do. I think we're going to see them more.
Boris mu ten LDR podal, kámo, ten shopkeeper Boris prostě, Hansi, kup si toto. Já jsem viděl, jak jsi to minule nekoupil, já ti tady pomůžu, tady máš LDR. Jakmile Caps bude mít ten BT, anebo ideálně LDR, Caps, víš co by měl udělat Caps? Caps by měl teďka postavit LDR taky. A nestavit BT, ale postavit LDR. Chat, víte, kde je Boris? O, to TP. Tohle vypadá zlé. Ult. Zachraňte ho. O, dobrý flash, ale je dead. Ult dřív. OK. Cream je dead. To nevypadá zase tak špatně. BB. Bacha, BB. Zapte toho Udera, Uder nemá flash, a on to misnul, ale ten je dead. Mně se líbí, jak oni prostě ví, že i když jim umře AD a umře mi Dash, tak stejně vyhrajou. Protože mají Ivern Xante je hypercarry Xante. Boys, jste si mysleli, že hypercarry, že ten Ivern bude hrát kolem Tristany a Dravena? Ne, hypercarry je tady Xante.
Tearing through Top Esports and yes, they got the Draven, but we talked about already.
Hej, tohle byla dobrý typ jak kokot a dobrý sneak. Tady měl zaultit hned toho Korkio ten Draven. Zaultil moc pozdě, tak to nevanshotne Korkio. Ale zabili Kalistu insta. Caps to naintil. Caps potřebuje to LDR, ale. Pak potřebuje LDR. Krásný flash od Jajka. Ten flash, ty Rek'Sai tunnel, nádherný. Value na Mage je úplně insane, jo, na Ivernovi vždycky Mage.
The augmentation that you can give to the other members of your team.
Hej,
It does give you that
ne, on
little
staví
bit
BT furt
extra
ten
that G2 are
ta
able to
Tristana.
leverage, and now with some control, they're getting all the vision around this Baron, 10-6.
Tohle je
Now the
super,
kill score,
guys,
and
oni
finally
jsou
G2 have the gold lead.
oni
And
jsou
again,
jako
it's Yike
even,
being
nebo
really
ahead.
good on point with his
25.
cues. Same when you look at
Ještě
Mickey
5
getting
minut
his
a
ult.
G2 vyhraje.
Easy to hit, but they're making it look easy as
Lol, top laneři se fackujou. Víš, jak hraje top lane, to je taková ta fackovaná, jak hraješ, jak je tam prostě, jak se jmenuje ten fackovaný sport, jak prostě tam se fackujou. Bibi vyhraje, eventuálně, za 30 minut. Power slap, jo, power slap. TP. On nemá, úder nemá TP. Double AD, to meltujou. Bacha jenom na Rek'Sai. Xante pull Rek'Sai! Ult Rek'Sai! Xante ult Rek'Sai! Tristana! Boys! Kapsonino! Plesknuli pryč tu kundu, vole. Nemůžou nic. Kaps. Nebude tady smite, nebude. Kaps byl takhle, sleduj, Kaps byl takhle. Kaps, tohle je Kaps.
The thing that they've been talking about this whole year that they wanted to improve, that right
Ty
there
vole.
was a perfect example
Kapsonino,
of it.
Kapsonino.
With 369, they knew the time as they were setting up for the Baron that whole time. And then they're able to sneak it away. A great ultimate from
Oni
Caps to keep
outscalnuli teď.
Tian away from the
Officially
steal, and
G2
now the
outscaled.
siege begins.
Officially.
3-0
od G2. Bombo clap. Neuvěřitelný.
A Hextech Drake of their own. Cream does now have the package. G2 is so much positional advantage.
And Top Esports did get to reset.
Domino Cash díky za 5.
Top Esports want the fight.
Yeah,
Jak běží s tím vlkem. Ten je one shot. Draven ult. Let's go! It is home, dámy a pánové. 3-0 G2. 3-0 G2. G2 přesně věděli, že ve 14:00 já musím jít na Orl. A prostě to zařídili. Já jsem si psal s Kapsem a s Bibim dneska ráno a říkám, kluci, hej, musíte dát 3-0, protože já ve 14:00 mám Orl. Klasický LPL korky, no jo, já nevím, proč to pikujou. LPL korky je třeba jako 5 výher, 40 proher. Tristana staví LDR. Kapsoninovi. Oh můj bože, go FF! Mají díky za tu jedničku, děkuju. G2 officially outscaled. Bomba. To přeháníte trošku, Oši? Trošku to přeháníte? Hit the turret? Hit the turret? Xante! Hypercarry Xante! Kamo, to je champ. To je champ, to kokos, jebetí prostě. To prostě mlátíš klávesnicou v hlavu a dáváš pentakill backline 1v5. GG easy. Někdo tam musí dropnout GG easy do toho chatu. Let's go! EU! 3-0, what a statement! Go fucking home! Bam! Stompos!